Yeah, that is
Fun
TV.
facts you wish you never knew.
Oh, I
And
am
trust me,
watching
the
it,
last
y'all.
one is
By
insane.
watching this to
It's
the
no
camera.
secret that Mount Everest is one of the most dangerous climbs that
Yeah,
any adventurer could
I knew that.
possibly go on.
The Rainbow
But Mount
Valley.
Everest is hiding a very disturbing secret.
This is
It's
how
called
I
the Rainbow
film.
Valley, and if you don't know what it is, buckle up. The Rainbow Valley is a trail of dead bodies scattered all along Mount Everest.
Yep.
And it's called the Rainbow Valley because all the climbers that
Why
died
am I
all
rapping
had
about
on
this
different
shit?
colorful jackets.
I'm not.
It's to the point
Why?
where people use these dead bodies
Ty
as points to
Filman?
mark how far up the mountain they are. Number two, there's no reason why anesthesia works. Literally none, but thank God it does. Most of the time. Because
Can
several
I-
people have suffered from
Can you
something
give me a
called
Dr. Pepper with
anesthesial
eyes
awareness.
in my camera?
Anesthesial awareness is a condition that causes people to wake up when they're put under anesthesia, but they
No.
can't move or make any noises,
That-
and they feel all the pain.
That
People that have been
horrifying.
through it have described it as a living hell.
That horrifying.
Verifying true facts that will keep
I'm
you up at
watching
night.
this kind of
Part
from the
two.
camera and the
Most
TV.
people would consider
Look.
ducklings to be relatively harmless and innocent creatures.
They're
But
adorable.
they can be more
What can I
sinister
do?
than you might realize. When a group of ducklings starts to feel overcrowded, aggravated, or even just bored sometimes, they will often turn to cannibalism
No.
to solve their problems for them. This is a
No.
characteristic that they share with other animals we tend to regard as being cute, such as chickens and bunny rabbits.
Who finds
Speaking of
chickens
let's
cute?
talk about babies. Up until the
Babies.
mid-1980s, doctors would routinely operate on infants without the use of anesthetics.
What?
This is because it was thought that babies couldn't experience
Are you-
pain. Also in the 1980s, CNN
Are you
reported
fucking
an ominous
dumb?
video meant to be published in the event of an end of the world
I didn't put
scenario. Comment if you think
the
that
pause
video
of
will
today's
be
video
published
in myself.
during
It's gonna be a Merry, Merry, Merry Christmas. Watch that on YouTube, people.
Part 4. Decapitation doesn't always immediately work.
Yeah,
There
makes
have been
sense.
some reports of humans living up to 30 seconds after their heads have been removed from their bodies. And there was a chicken in
No.
the 1940s named Mike who lived for over a year without his head. There is a whale called 52 Blue which sings at such a high frequency that it is unable to communicate with the rest of its species, making it the loneliest animal on Earth and dooming
That's
it
sad.
to die alone. And finally, mummies weren't actually rare until the late 16th century. When
Mommies?
the British decided to start buying mummies to grind up into paint. Oh, and they also started eating them, believing them to have special
What?
medical properties. Tag a friend if you're watching this at night, and follow for more.
These are 8 horrifying facts that will probably keep you up at night. One of your photos that you have today will be used in your funeral.
That is kinda
There are
creepy.
more slaves today than any other time in history. According to the founder of the Walk Free Foundation, there are 46 million slaves in the world.
No.
Your eyes can still move after your death for 15 to 30 seconds.
Uh-uh.
Watching TV
Y'all,
for more than 2 hours
I saw
a day
been dead.
can
Bye.
shorten your life expectancy by 1.4 years. In 1977, we received a radio signal from space that lasted 42 seconds. To this day, no one knows where that signal came from. The Lit candle causes more than 15,000 house fires every year.
That takes a 2011 for y'all.
Could happen at any moment above you. Bill Skarsgård, who played Pennywise in the 2017
Pennywise.
version
Penny-
of It,
Bill
was born
Pennywise.
in 1990, the year the original It was released. Yeah. These are 8 horrifying facts that will probably
Thank you,
keep you up
man.
at night.
Hi.
Up until the 1980s, some
That-
doctors didn't believe newborns could feel pain. There is a book called The Wreck of the Titan. It predicted the Titanic ship tragedy, and it was written 14 years before it happened. Until the 20th century, human remains were used in the making of medicine. Climate change is making Middle Eastern countries colder and Western countries warmer. There is a church in Czech Republic called the Sedlik Ossuary, and it's decorated with human bones. Another fact about this church, it holds the skeletons of 70,000 people.
Okay.
4-year-old Dorothy Good was the youngest person to be accused of witchcraft. While Ted
What?
Bundy was a psychology major at the University
Do you have
of
to turn that
Washington,
off?
he worked at Seattle's suicide hotline.
Oh, that is
crisis
cool. That's
center.
cute.
Yeah, there's a lot more, like for part 16.
You said babies?
These are 8 horrifying facts that will probably keep you up at night. Vending machines are lethal. Yes. 13 people a year get killed.
It's good. I have to.
Cats can sense when their owners are dying.
Yeah, that better.
Babies have more bones than adults. Spiders can survive.
That's who.
Your rectum is the first part of your body to develop. which means in one point of your life, you are
You sound an asshole.
several
Literally.
species of birds keep cool by defecating on themselves. Your stomach lining blushes
Fuck.
when you do. On average,
I puked in my mouth a little bit.
153,000
Because-
people die
I think it's
per
good.
day. Yeah,
What?
there's a lot more.
little Christmas set.
Yeah, it is.
These are 8 horrifying
Rudolph
facts
the
that will
red-nosed
probably keep you up at
reindeer.
night. When
Oh,
Apollo
take it
11
down.
landed, it
Look
only
out
had
for the
3
Christmas
seconds of
box
remaining
coming
fuel.
out
4 months ago, a deceased
December
rapper by the name of
25th.
had his corpse on stage while fans were partying around his body. The average person
No.
wastes 5 months
That's
of their
fake.
lives waiting
Mama?
for red lights to turn green.
Are they
Cruise ships
serious?
have morgues, just in case someone, during the trip. If you have red eyes after swimming, it's not from chlorine.
It's
from the
piss.
chlorine mixing with other people's
Piss.
The furthest
Piss,
part of the
people,
ocean from
piss.
land is Point Nemo. If you get
Ugh.
stuck there, you're not coming back.
Okay.
Sunburn are your cells dying to avoid being
Yeah,
cancerous.
I knew that.
Most laugh tracks and shows are people from the 50s.
Not
which
50s.
means you're hearing the laughter
It's
of dead
kind of
people.
freaky.
Yeah, there's a lot more, like for part 14. These
What
are
did I
eight
write?
horrifying
Part
facts that will
16 or
probably keep you up.
46?
There are thousands of old diseases frozen in the glaciers of the world, and global warming will eventually.
We don't want them.
If a person dies in their costume at Disney, like Mickey Mouse, they have to be sat down on a bench. So
What?
it looks like they're resting. Climate change.
This is
is
why
made
I
of
look in the
spiders.
camera, so
Some
I don't have
female
to
spiders
face.
allow their young to eat them alive.
Oh my, no.
Is when surgeons put a tooth in a blind
That doesn't
person's eye
work.
to restore their sight.
Mama.
It was pioneered in the
That doesn't
1960s,
work.
and it actually works and it's still being done today.
What?
The chances of a successful CPR outside of a hospital is only 7%. Cell phones are 10 times dirtier than a toilet. When you suddenly wake up during the night,
That's nice to know that my video camera is dirtier than a fucking toilet.
like for part 12. These are 8 horrifying facts. that
I'm
will
watching
probably
this
keep
to
you up
my
at night.
camera right
If
now.
you smell burnt toast and there's nothing actually burning, you are most probably having a stroke. If you
Do you
have
have burnt
5
toast?
brothers, one of you will go to 5
I do.
funerals, while another won't see even one. If you should have randomly
On camera.
ghost pass here or through, there are 2 days that don't last 24 hours. The one of your birth and the one of your death. In the original Little Red Riding Hood, the wolf forced her to eat her grandma. You've never actually
No.
seen your face, only photos and reflections. People who fall
That
in love
fake.
lose an average
That
of 2
fake.
friends each. By the
That
time you
fake.
reach the age of
What?
18, on average, you have 3,300
Still keep it,
weekends
though.
left in your life. Yeah,
Correct.
there's a lot more.
Look.
Like for party 11.
I know I was
Terrifying
right.
facts that will keep
Do
you
you
up
know
at
what
night.
you were right?
Part 3.
Beautiful.
Up until the mid-19th century,
That was you
dentures
right.
were made by harvesting the teeth of recently deceased
One of my teachers
soldiers.
told me I will
It
write
was
table
also not
fifth.
uncommon for rich
One of my
people
teachers.
whose teeth had rotted from eating too much sugar to
You see it?
purchase the teeth of
I-
poor
I-
people who had healthier
Now
teeth
I
to
kind of see
replace
it.
their own.
It is why my aunt
Most
has a
laugh
face
tracks
shape.
used in television today were recorded during or before the
What?
1950s.
What does he do? Like, what kind of surgery does he do for our face? Like a face whip or
People
something?
who have been dead for decades.
No.
Unlike other
It's a
predators,
fillers.
polar bears will
Maybe a
actively
nose
hunt
shop.
humans for food and sport.
It's a fillers.
Famous saying that if the
Really,
bear's
I
down, lie
the
down,
really only thing I see is
flat,
fillers are like a
lie
nose
back,
saw.
and if
Wait,
it
lip
strikes,
fillers?
good night.
My lips are fucking tiny.
Polar bear in a fight.
Look at my lips.
Follow for more. Here are some terrifying truths
How tiny are your
you
lips?
wish you didn't know.
Do the
Think about
booty
this
or whip.
sentence for a second. Either we're entirely alone in the universe, or we're not.
What?
Both are terrifying prospects. Either we're entirely alone, or we're not.
Thank you
What's
for
out there
ruining my
might be
night,
worse
sir.
if we were.
I was so
There are
trying
more
to do a
states
Saturday
today
night
than in any
podcast
other place
reacting to
in
TV
history.
facts.
We like to think of slavery as being an issue of the
Oh,
past,
Telegram.
but it is estimated that there are up to 40 million
Okay.
slaves today, and over
What?
a quarter of them are children. Finally,
That
over
horrible.
80 million bacteria can be exchanged in just one kiss. Maybe
That's not TV. That's funny.
Scary cartoon truths that would terrify you?
Okay,
One,
I'm watching this
Peppa Pig
too.
was diagnosed with cancer at just 2 years old and spent most of her early life in bed. She needed constant assistance and 24-hour
Yeah.
supervision from her parents. just
That's
to keep her
sad.
alive. Peppa was an embarrassment and a burden to the whole family. But one day, her dad had enough
That's sad.
and got a horrible idea. He
Don't-
decided to chain Peppa to her bed so she could never leave her room again. Years later, her parents had another child, which they named Peppa. This Peppa replaced the original Peppa, who is still locked inside her room. And if you Google Peppa Pig house wallpaper, something terrifying comes up.
Yeah,
At
wait,
first
let me
glance, you
zoom
can't
into
see
this.
it,
Hold
but
up.
if you zoom in, you can see
Y'all
the original
probably
Peppa
probably see the video I
still locked
reacting
inside of her
to.
room.
If you still own one of these, then you might want to
What
take
is it?
caution. In the mid-80s, 17-year-old Jason Findlay was found dead in his bedroom with zero evidence as to
A
what happened.
Walkman.
He was in good health.
Is it like
no
Sonny
undiscovered
Walkman?
diseases, and there was no evidence of foul play that night. It wasn't until an autopsy revealed bleeding of the inner ear that indicated some kind of sudden electrical surge. And that's when the pieces all
A
came
Walkman.
together. Jason had been on the phone while there was a bad thunderstorm
Yeah.
that night. And
Phone.
all it took was for lightning to strike his home and an electrical surge.
I might as well
to
stop
make its
dead,
way
y'all.
into his
Bye.
ear. I always thought growing up that this was a complete urban legend, but apparently 1 to 2 people die every year from being electrocuted over the phone. Or at least they did. Thankfully, cell phones are more popular now.
It's a landline.
Unless you happen to be a vintage collector.
Here's the scary truth behind the Teletubbies. And warning, this gets scary.
Teletubbies.
Teletubbies isn't really the lovable show we all know. The
Who the
was
hell
actually
watched
based on a
fucking
mental
Tub-
institute in Bulgaria
Who the
called
hell watched
Lala
fucking
Land.
Teletubbies?
Inside
That's
the
had a
institute,
type
the
of
children were
me.
all
Oh, it's
treated.
funny.
They were locked
Well,
in
y'all can
dark
watch
rooms,
whatever
beaten,
YouTubers
abused.
y'all watch
Their
besides
caretakers would
me.
even forget to feed
But
them.
like, who fucking
And
watches
each
Teletubbies?
Teletubbies
It's
actually
a
based on
fucking
a group of kids who
2-year-old.
died on the same day.
That's
These
sad.
kids all had facial deformities from all the beatings and lack of food. This is what made them always smile. The kids were locked up in isolation.
I feel bad for
Isolation
taking
caused
this
them
as
to
funny.
dance and sing by themselves.
I think
even
it's a
with
little
no music.
funny. That
Whenever
fucked
someone
up.
tried to talk to them, they would only speak gibberish.
That
This
fucked
is
up.
because they didn't understand Bulgarian or know how to speak to people.
That funny.
No matter how deformed and broken they
No.
were, they would always smile because of their face.
Yeah.
And the son and the voice in the show is actually the caretakers talking
Is
to
it
them.
Sue?
They have
Hold
to
up,
follow
Casey
the rules
fam.
and
I
listen
may
to what
look
they
this
say.
up
If you like this
again
video, make sure to
filming.
like and follow for more.
Dirty facts about history that school probably didn't teach you.
Did I say
are
dirty
empty.
facts?
Oscar Wilde was once quoted saying that he was addicted to giving top and said that it greatly inspired him as a writer. The first
Facts.
ever pregnancy test involved injecting a woman's urine directly into a female frog's skin. And if the woman was pregnant, a few hours later, the frog would lay eggs.
Ew.
Paul Revere would ride from Boston
How did that
to New
work?
York to cheat on his wife. No, babe.
I wanna
the red
puke
coats
in
are
my mouth.
actually coming this time. In 1955, the KGB tried to blackmail the president of Indonesia
What did the KGB
with video footage of him making love
make
with
me
a
a
Russian
tape?
woman disguised as a flight attendant.
Like
However, this
Dr. Pepper
backfired
and my
because the
can't
president
even
did
eyes.
not care and requested the tape so he could flex on his friends back home. Giving
You
someone
know
the
I'm
finger
watching
actually
this
dates
to
back
my
2,000
camera.
years, and it used to mean that you were threatening
Yeah, I
someone.
just see it pretty
So while
clearly.
today it means you, back then
This
it
means
meant
fuck.
I'm going to fuck you.
Yeah.
Really weird thing that your body does
Well,
that you're not sure
I mean
anybody
it.
else's body does.
Since I was a little kid, I've been able to do this with my hands. Basically, I can.
Well, that video over, so we do fun facts or another TV fact one. So we do another TV or fun? So we do another TV one or another fun? Oh, fun.
But, yeah.
Oh, we're already going to one. Take you for. I'm not even lying. I take you for watching this. I'm talking to you and Taser fam. Even though I haven't uploaded this yet. Hey, this is a me in real life. Y'all, this is a me in real life as I film me. I talk to people, I talk to y'all.
At the coolest prices around.
I go around. I really watching this today.
Tell you how the feminist movement was the devil's plan. Modern day
No, it
feminism
wasn't.
was a war against masculinity. Before this
Yeah,
movement,
a
the
big
natural
reason why
stayed at
women
home
went
with their
on
husbands. A
feminism.
lot of them had no jobs.
So like, a
they
lot of
couldn't
fucking
be
women.
taxed. And the lords didn't
Women
like
don't seem to
that.
like shit back in the
Rockefellers started
1900s.
funding feminist campaigns
Right,
in the
women
media.
were forced to
Modern
have
feminists
corsets.
are convincing women that
I
hookup culture
healed.
and not shaving your armpits is liberation. Did you also know
Not
that
shaving
this
armpits
movement
is really
caused birth rates to
detoxing.
fall? We are not
Excuse me,
producing
but I
as
find
many
armpit
babies as we
and
used to in the past.
detoxing.
Emasculating a man does not make you a stronger woman. Sit down.
It kinda does.
By a man. The blue-haired feminists, are contributing to one man's bank account.
By ripping off
You have
your
no
fucking,
idea
by ripping off
about
a
the
man's
devil
fucking
behind
testicles.
your movement. And when someone speaks up, you
Not
just
telling them they not a
like he never
fucking,
existed. Wait.
that they not a
These are
fucking
some
leader of the
extremely
damn world.
unsettling facts. And
Not
I
telling
found
them
all
they
these-
not the
Alright.
damn leader
Number
of the
one,
world by
the Russian
fucking.
dead hand. Now I already hear you saying it. What's the Russian dead hand?
Yeah,
the
what
Russian
is it?
dead hand is an extremely realistic end to the Earth as we know it. If Russia's government ever gets overthrown or they detect a nuclear threat, they have a protocol called the Russian dead hand. This protocol will essentially send out nuclear warheads all across the world. And I'm sure I don't need to tell you why that would be
No.
bad. Number 2, Yellowstone. Now, chances are, even if you're not from America, you know what Yellowstone is. It's a volcano that we have out here in America that's
TV?
been dormant for years.
Why the
And
TV
we need
show?
to thank our lucky stars that it's dormant, and here's
Oh.
why. If Yellowstone were to go off in the explosive fashion that scientists are expecting it to, it would force us into an ice age. This massive explosion would cover the skies in ash, thus cooling down Earth itself
Just put something down
and
a second.
sending us
Hold it
into
down.
an ice age. And if this were to happen, scientists suspect that about 85% of humanity across the globe would cease to exist. And the reason why this is so scary is the fact that it could happen at any moment. And finally, we have Point Nemo. Now, this one didn't have anything specifically scary about it, but it's still terrifying to think of. Point Nemo is the
Can we
farthest
watch some
point
Cecil
away
Hotel
from
videos
land
after
on
this?
Earth. Quite literally the middle of the
No.
ocean. There's actually a lot of stories about planes and aircrafts that mysteriously crashed
Yay.
right above Point
Okay.
Nemo. Now,
To
whether
some of
this
my
is
KK
cursed or
family
whatever
do
the
not
case
know
may
what the
be,
Cecil
nobody
Hotel
knows.
is.
But because this point is so
Let
far away
Miss
from
KK
land, we
Tony
know
Weathers,
so
aka
little about it. And
I
something
never
about
told
that
y'all my
doesn't
real
sit
name,
right
and
with
I
me.
will
Now, if you didn't
never
like hearing those, I'm
tell
sorry,
y'all though,
but
so
that's
y'all will
why.
even know me
This
at
is
2
a true
until midnight.
horrifying story, part
Who
25.
will
Warning,
be
this
seeing me like I
is
tell
not a joke.
myself.
The information
Or
that's
KK
going to
Tony
be shared
Weathers.
is dangerous
So what
and
KK
life-threatening.
Tony
Do
Weathers,
not,
aka
under any
me,
circumstance,
you
commit
to
the
make that
actions that
Cecil.
will be narrated. This is
The
the
Cecil
world's
Hotel,
most
a
dangerous
Toria
book
Landmark
ever.
Hotel
Shams al-Mahal.
in,
This
built
book was written
in
by Ahmed
LA,
al-Duni
California.
in the 17th century.
At
But
all the
technically,
downtown
the author
Annapolis.
of this book is not a
Open
human being. I
its
never
doors
did and will
on
never read
December
this book.
20th,
And this is your second
1924,
warning. Do not
for
read
business
this book.
travelers
Ahmed
and
al-Duni
tourists
practiced black
to
magic, and he was in
to
contact with the most powerful
Hollywood,
jinns and demons
California,
before he passed away.
to
The
ask
jinns were the authors of this book. The elder generations, like our moms and dads, have heard about this book, and they were warned by it. There are thousands of horrifying stories of people who read this book. Shams al-Ma'arif explains everything about black magic, how to get in touch with the world of jinns, how to
I love
marry
that.
a jinn,
That's
and the
cute.
sacrifices you have to do for the devil, and much more. Unfortunately,
Can we
this
turn on
book
the
can
hallway
be easily
light?
found online. One day, a Saudi Arabian man that read hundreds of books for a living decided to read this book
get a little more
specifically
wide than it, so
out
not
of
as
interest and love
unsettling.
for all books.
I think I
Without
love
fearing
these.
the
I need a little
consequences,
more wide
he
so I'm
reached
not
a
as
chapter
unsettling.
that teaches readers how to
Thank
get
you so
married
much. It
to a
doesn't bother
female
having
jinn.
the
He laughed about it.
treatment
He
that
tried the ritual to experiment it. The first night after finishing the whole book and completing the marriage ritual, he felt someone breathing next to his face. And on the second night, he felt a hand touching
The
his
first
feet.
death of the
And on
Cecil
third
Tracy
night,
family, Pussy
he
Cook
heard a voice. The man
killed
was
himself
officially
after
locked
his
in a
wife
marriage
took his
with a
kid,
demon.
shot himself in the
5
back.
years
And then two
go
other
by.
people
He met a
tapped
normal,
so
beautiful
police.
woman that he fell in love with, and they both
1968,
decided
two
to get
women
married
went
a
on.
week before the wedding day.
In
The bride, the bride's parents, and the
1968,
groom's parents all passed
a woman and
died
man,
in 3
a
different
woman
car crashes.
leaped
These are
out
the
of the window,
consequences
landing on
behind this
me,
book. And
killing
it's
a
also
boat.
known from many stories of
And
people
then
that
two
have
other people
died
saw him down the
from
window,
reading the first few
unknown.
pages.
And
If
then
you
a
don't
woman
finish reading the book, you will
Oh,
get
90
killed. All my stories,
also saw him down
all
and
of
walked
them,
alive.
are true incidents that happened one
On the
time
wide
only.
road of
But
another
this book
building, a
is a
woman in
product
1924,
that is permanently
1944,
do not go
to a
anywhere
baby
near
out the
Shams
window,
al-Ma'arif.
out the
This
window,
video is to
Sadie,
educate you on
my
the
baby,
dangers
out
behind
the
this book. Do
window.
not go anywhere close
Okay,
to
this
the
is a
world of
mono
jinns.
Toya take a dab. Okay, I imagine a motor. Okay,
You won't believe
in
what happened
1984
across
to
all social media
1985, with some
platforms in the
Ramirez,
UAE. 2 days ago,
also
we
known as a
celebrated
night
Emirati
talker,
Women's Day in
were
the UAE. This day was
a
founded by Her
residence
Highness
at the
Sheikh
Cecil
Fatma bint
Hotel
Mubarak in in
and
2015.
with that
And ever
for
since,
a
the people
year
of the
to
UAE
August
promote female
from
equality
August
and
of
empowerment on this day. A group of 9 Emirati
1984
women released a
to
video on that day, and these were
to
some of the things
September
they quoted. You are allowed
1985. I may
to
be
be
off,
who you are,
and that's
regardless of how
sad.
you look like.
So I'm trying
The
to
identity
turn
of an
one
Emirati
for like
woman is not yet
Turbo
defined. It
Country
is still
with the
under
season.
progress. People here
Literally
went
the
ballistic.
mother
The
women with
majority of the
panties.
people online
Daddy
stated that
Daddy.
they were going against the UAE's religion, morals, and culture. They were furious. You know how far things can go on Twitter, but they did get minimal support from some Emirati people. One of them is Sara Al-Agroubi. This is a screenshot of Sara's story post that I received. These are your Emirati sisters. Their blood runs through your veins. If you disrespect them, you are disrespecting yourself. Well, I can say the same thing about you, Sara. When you rage posted this video after this whole incident, in the video, you ridiculed and mocked Emiratis when they speak English. Or maybe this video, when you degraded Khaliji men. Wait, I thought, doesn't their blood run through your veins? If you disrespect them, you disrespect yourself? I'm not attacking you here. I'm really just trying to understand.
I'm back.
Of course, as an Emirati myself, I love and appreciate my people.
I'm back.
Emirati men and women
So
are
the amount
considered
of
brothers
Korea
and sisters
death
of mine.
at the Cecil
Regardless of
happened
who they are
in
as people. You see,
2013.
I'm not picking
So most
sides
of y'all
here.
probably
I'm
audited
just
Tory
telling you
EV
guys a
somewhere.
story. You guys
For
tell
a
me.
young woman
What
around
do you
22,
think about
21
this
years
whole fuss?
old.
Scary facts that will blow your mind. Part 1. The middle of nowhere is an actual place within New Mexico. The legend goes that an elderly couple lived
So
out there
was
with their
it
dog
to
and witnessed many
California.
strange and bizarre things.
And after she
One
got to
night,
LA,
they
she
reported
found
seeing a strange
Palomino
creature
Hill.
that they identified
Also
as a
known as
skinwalker. After reporting this to the
Hotel
police,
Cecil.
the family had
She
vanished
said
under
in
strange circumstances.
January
Their dog,
26,
however, was left
2013,
behind. This is the
and she
story
reported
that
Courage
Courage the Cowardly
to
Dog was
January
based off of. Like and
31st,
follow for more.
This skeleton is a
2013.
real victim of the Black Plague, and he was found here in Charterhouse Square, allegedly the largest
And
plague pit in London.
the
If
first
anything really
page
happened,
of
disobey signage, there is no grass
bad
to keep off of,
water
so you bet
and
nothing
bad
on it.
water
And this
pressure
room is
or
peaceful
something
enough,
weird
but I
about the
saw that
water
there are around
was
50,000 bodies buried
on,
here,
I
making
don't
it the
say it was
largest mass grave in
December, was it
London. The
December
people on Erskine
30th,
Crossrail building worked
2013
during
when
March
the first
2013,
page,
and that's when they found this guy.
the
All
first
of the
page thing,
Charterhouse
we don't say
skeletons
was
date back to the Black Plague of 1348,
was
a seriously
January
horrific outbreak that
30th,
completely decimated London's
2013,
population. I could
a
do
British
15 videos
couple
about this location.
tall
It has
in
survived the last 7
Pluto
centuries and
what
seen
does
some
it
of the
say?
most tumultuous
The water
times
went
in
bad
British
for a few
history. After
seconds,
the
then
plague
went
that was dug,
normal.
it became
Well,
Carthusian
bad
monastery
water
until
pressure
Henry
is
VIII
sour.
started being an
The
absolute
tap water
nightmare.
went,
And under his
the water
orders,
went
18
bad
monks
for
from this monastery
a
were
few
killed.
minutes.
The
The water
prior of
at a
Charterhouse, John
weird,
Houghton, was hanged,
skinny,
disemboweled while still
nasty
alive, and then
cave.
quartered by horses. They even
Off
nailed
that.
his severed arm to this arch as a warning to others who spoke out against the king. After that, it became a Tudor mansion, an almshouse, and a boys' school. The schoolboys would dare each other to go into the square at night and put their ears to the ground to listen for the endless screaming of the plague victims who were buried while still alive. But I mean, that's just silly. See, I don't hear anything.
Creepy facts about your body you're gonna wish you didn't know.
Yo, wait a
When you go
second.
down a drop on a roller
Okay,
coaster and
then
suddenly
Elisa
feel your
Lamb
stomach
in
drop, it's not just you
2013,
feeling nervous. What you're feeling are your
February
organs
19th,
actually moving.
2013,
Have you ever noticed
Elisa
that
Lamb was
people
found dead
life
in the
seem to
Cecil
have
Hotel
very
water
long,
tank.
large ears?
That's your
That's
information
because
so
your
far
ears
on the
will
Cecil.
never stop growing.
Thank you
Across
for
your life,
visiting y'all.
you'll
Let's
spend
do some
an average of an
reacting.
entire year just sitting on a toilet. When we see brains outside of the human body, they usually look pretty solid. But your
Ooh.
brain, while inside your skull while you're alive, is actually very soft. It's like melted butter soft.
Scary facts that will blow your mind. Part 3. It's been speculated by scientists that the light at the end of the tunnel when you're dying is actually you in the hospital being reborn into a new body. You're only given moments to sift through your memories and leave everything else behind. This, of course, is
Well,
just
I've
a
been
theory,
reborn
but
out
what if? Let me know
one
what
of
you
my
think.
teeth.
Like and follow for more.
Teeth.
Scary facts that will blow your mind.
Do you hear
Part
what I
2.
said, Mama?
The Hoia Baciu Forest is considered the most haunted forest in all of Romania. Hundreds of people
Oh, the
have
name
gone
time I
missing
was
within these
Japanese
woods,
name.
among
Oh, I
other
have to say what
things
they gonna say, like Tokyo,
screams,
Japan.
laughter, babies crying, people being attacked by unseen paranormal forces, strange balls of light, UFOs, and in the very center of the forest lies a clearing where no plant life will grow. It is believed that this spot is a portal to another dimension. What do you think?
Today I'm in Hampstead to show you where the real Peter Pan is buried. Full disclosure, I make these TikToks for my job. I am not some weirdo who likes to be scared or sits in graveyards for fun. I cannot go over there. So I'm gonna level with you. I am truly scared of this graveyard. There's been a site of worship here since the Anglo-Saxons. 26
No.
monks came here from Westminster Abbey to escape the Black Death, but they were already infected and all died. But the graveyard itself is so creepy. It's full of dark corners, narrow paths, creepy trees. It's the basis for the cemetery from Dracula. I was looking for the Peter Pan grave in this maze, and to be honest, I almost gave up because I just felt so gross.
I am a lost boy from Peter Pan. Do you know that song?
Let us end this wolf as it began.
Ooh, I want to talk to the animes. It's the animes I want to talk, Mama. I want to talk Demon Slayer. You know how I like Aspen Hotel? It's kind of like Aspen, but it focuses on like kids, like teenagers, Reddy's tip, like offing demons. So yeah, that's what Demon Slayer focus.
And if you've seen Finding Neverland, this is that family. Arthur, Sylvia, and the five boys befriended the author J.M. Barrie. He became a close family friend and eventually wrote Peter Pan inspired by them and specifically their second youngest son, Michael. But this is the part that most people don't know because shortly after Peter Pan was finished, they started to die. Both Arthur and Sylvia died of cancer within a few years of each other. The boys were left orphaned, and most of them met tragic deaths. Peter took his own life in Sloane Square Tube Station. George was hit by a German sniper in the First World War at 21 years old. And Michael, the inspiration for Peter Pan, was only 20 years old when he drowned in mysterious circumstances with his suspected poison. Peter Pan kind of became this curse. They even called it that terrible masterpiece. And then the part that always scared me so much. This is Holly Walk. At the top of this road is the site of a gruesome 19th century murder when a red-haired maidservant murdered a child and smuggled him out in a carpet bag. Residents claim they see her ghost along this road, but most people like me just feel a really sharp drop in temperature. It's really fucking cold right here.
Okay, y'all, I did big down why will you go on my paranormal world.
So if you don't believe me, try it for yourself. It's super gross.
This is a fun fact.
Lunch and I see this church. A quick Google tells me that it's St. Giles of Cripplegate and also where a woman was famously buried alive. But first I need to figure out how to get there. This is me getting lost in a maze of brutalist architecture. Nothing makes sense. I can see it.
Okay, first thing on.
We made it. So
When you walk in my bathroom and my old house very haunted. Hello, meet my dog Betty Sue. She doesn't appear on camera because she's not funny Japanese yokai. She is a dog. She a woman who died in my bathroom. How many years ago? Like 7, 10 years ago? What? Like, out, like, my age, like, I want, like, damn. So, like, 7. So, she died in like 2017, I guess. She died in my bathroom. It opened out that hallway. And I don't know what my dad says it's really cold on the inside of the bed. That a sign of paranormal activity. It also gets really cold in the car sometimes. You mean like go to the also really cold in our bathroom where she actually died. And then it also really cold in my room, but I also no AC in my room. The main AC unit up is only go to like my parents' room kind of my hallway sometimes to my hallway to the kitchen a little bit. But it also
during the concert, Brandon caught Bianca kissing Alex, which led to an argument.
And I also take it mix the supernatural energy in the bathroom a few feet up my room.
He then got to Bianca's phone and posted several gruesome images of her corpse to her Instagram story and released a video of the murder as well. He then posted the
horrible.
Hinting that he was going to take his own life. However, police were notified before he could do so, and Brandon was taken into custody and sentenced to life in prison for the murder of Bianca Devin.
Dirty facts about history that school probably didn't teach
More dirty facts.
Oscar Wilde was once quoted saying that he was addicted to giving top and said that it greatly inspired him as a writer. The first ever pregnancy test involved injecting a woman's urine directly into a female.
How did that work?
And if the woman was pregnant, a few hours
Mama, how did that work?
Paul Revere
then exactly that piss into a toad.
No, babe, the redcoats are actually coming this time. In 1955, the KGB tried to blackmail the president of Indonesia with video footage of him making love with a Russian woman disguised as a flight attendant. However, this backfired because the president did not care and requested the tape so he could flex on his friends back home. Giving someone the finger actually dates back 2,000 years